Hi, I'm Novel Mike, and this is my opinion. So now that the Nintendo Switch has been revealed and a few days have passed, we have gotten some more information, which I do want to talk about briefly because it does tie into the main point I want this video to be about, and which is why I think that the Nintendo Switch will be a success. And by success, I don't just mean better than the Wii U. I mean it will do quite well, at least in certain areas for sure. So for the new information, based off the trailer that they showed, they showcased several games. It does appear that Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, and maybe a few other games are getting some updated ports. There were rumors before about Super Smash Bros. Being also a port to the system. And unfortunately, Nintendo has decided to say that they won't be talking about games or anything else about this system until next year. Which is kind of funny, honestly, because I actually got part of that right in a previous video when I was talking about NX rumors. When I was saying they're going to wait to unveil it until the last minute, and I said, we may not actually see games on the thing running until next year. I said the whole thing, but I was half right. Okay, I'm going to take it. So part of that they showed was Bethesda's Skyrim, and that was one of my biggest reactions. I was like, oh my god, portable Skyrim, that sounds amazing. Well, Bethesda has dialed it back, and now they're saying, we have not confirmed that Skyrim is coming for the Nintendo Switch, and blah, 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 PR speak. So, okay, I think Skyrim is definitely coming out for this thing. I don't know that it's going to be a launch title, but the only reason they would really be saying something this right now is because they are just about to have the enhanced editions or the complete editions, whatever you want to call them, come out for the PS4 and Xbox One. And if they had another version on the way that was going to be portable, that could deter sales of these because people would just wait for that. So it makes sense for them not to want to, talk about the Switch version yet, especially with Nintendo not talking about any, reveals of any games or anything like that, despite what they showed in the trailer. One of the other things that came out almost right after this whole thing was the picture of all the third parties that have signed on for the Switch. The Wii U, when they first showed it, they had a picture of 20, which unfortunately did die down fairly quickly because the Wii U did not do well, and third parties largely gave up on it. And that was partially Nintendo's fault too because of how their online infrastructure worked, but hopefully lessons are being learned. But there are 50 different companies on here. There's two of them, well, technically three, that stand out for me. So the first one being From Software. From Software is mostly known for the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and originally Demon Souls series. And it is very possible if they're working on something for this, it could be a complete version with all the DLC and everything of Dark Souls 3 for the NX, or I was about to say NX again, for the Nintendo Switch. Or it could be something completely different. It's hard to say, no one's going to be talking about their games, but that would be pretty awesome to have a portable version of something like Dark Souls 3. Or maybe it'll be a Dark Souls collection. That'd be amazing. Or heck, maybe, they're working on a specific Souls type game like Bloodborne was for Sony for the system. That would be amazing. I doubt that's going to be what it is. I think it's most likely a Dark Souls 3 port, but that would be amazing. Also on there is Spike Chunsoft, who I know them best for the Danganronpa series, and it's possible that since they are porting the first two games to the PS4 as well as the third game that's coming out next year as well to the PS4, that those will be also hitting up that, which makes sense in a lot of ways because, the first two games were on Vita, so it would make sense for that to be on a more portable system. And those are great games. If you have not played those and you have a Vita or a PC, they're available on both. They're really great games. Or you can wait for the PS4 versions coming out sometime early next year, or perhaps a Nintendo Switch version. Who knows? Excuse me. But yeah, I definitely think that's probably likely coming from them. That's not like a bigger title or anything like that, but for people like me, that's a pretty big endorsement, I think, from a, niche kind of RPG, or not RPG, a niche kind of, development company out of Japan. The third one, which is why I said before, sort of, is Atlus, and the only reason I think that Atlus has closely worked with Nintendo for many years now. I mean, we had the Tokyo Mirage sessions, and they've had the Shin Megami Tensei 4 and then the Apocalypse game come out for the 3DS. So I mean, they've been putting out their games on there, but it could be possible that they are working on a Persona 5 port for this. I think it's a long shot. I don't think that they've ever actually stated that Persona 5 is an exclusive to Sony. It was just kind of assumed it is because, they're not going to put it on Xbox since the Xbox has no presence in Japan. And, Sony's, they wouldn't put it on the Wii U. Well, I guess they could have put it on the Wii U. Yeah, honestly, it's probably not that likely, but it could happen. Or honestly, I'd probably enjoy seeing Tokyo Mirage Sessions have another chance at life on the Nintendo Switch or something else. So besides that, some other information has come out, mostly regarding, most of it's rumors, honestly. There's rumors about the battery life. Other companies have come out besides the ones posted in the picture that you just saw on your screen about, supporting the system. Not too many big players on there, but, the mainstream publishers are on board, like EA, Activision, 2K, and stuff like that. I was sadly not correct about Red Dead at all being on there. That would have been huge, I think, but, we'll see. Things could always change, and you never know. Besides that, though, I do want to talk about why I think the system is going to be successful. So if you look at what's popular in different parts of the world, while the console market for this generation has really taken off in the US and Europe to a lesser extent, in Japan, it hasn't. Like, the Xbox One is non-existent. I mean, granted, Microsoft in general is non-existent when it comes to their systems in Japan, but at the very least they tried to get Japan on board with games like Tales of Vesperia for the Xbox 360, whereas they've pretty much just given up on Japan with the Xbox One. And even though Sony is the only real next-gen system, or current-gen system, I should say, on the market, it hasn't done that well. I mean, it just passed the Wii U's lifetime sales, and it's taken them more than just about 2 years to do that. That's not that impressive, honestly, for a system that, just broke crazy records in the US in comparison. And part of the reason for that is one thing that's really big in Japan is mobile and portable gaming. And, one thing that I think this thing is clearly going to be catered toward is capturing the audience for both. So while I think it's going to be really cool for, people like myself who travel a lot to be able to play this, on the go whenever we want to, I think this thing's going to just do insane numbers in Japan. I think it's going to blow past both the Wii 4, the PS4 and the Wii U's current sales shortly after it comes out, because it is that portable system. And if this thing can run mobile games on it too, which was one of the rumors previously that it'd be able to run Android software on it, then that could be also really huge. If they can capture all those, different markets on one system, that could be amazing, and that could do really well for Nintendo. I mean, it's a big thing. It's not as portable as some other things, but when you think about it, it's basically just a tablet with controllers on it. Except it's obviously more powerful than that. So if it's priced reasonably, this thing is going to be huge in Japan. It could take off like crazy over there. Now, of course, a lot remains to be said in regards to that, but that is one market I think that Nintendo was aiming at that Sony just has not captured with the PS4. And now they can, and Nintendo does do handhelds and portable systems really, really well. That's why the 3DS has been such a huge seller, both here and across the world. So that is one thing that, Nintendo definitely has up their alley in terms of software support, in terms of development and everything else. There's a lot of questions that remain unanswered about the system in terms of its pricing, what games are going to come out for it, what other companies are going to say that they are going to support it, that kind of thing. And I think a lot of it will depend on what Nintendo really showcases when they do decide to show the system off and the games for it next year, and they can start confirming prices and all that, since it is still slated for March. I think launch titles are going to be very, very important for this. It will be really cool to have a lot of ports, stuff like Mario Kart 8 with an updated version, Splatoon, Smash Brothers, all that within, several months of its release. But you also have to, bring in people who, have played those and want to play new games. And if third parties can get not only some good support for it, for ports that they've already done for games that have already been out, but also more recent ports, Mass Effect Andromeda, for example, which I think BioWare has said is not coming to it currently, but again, things can change. No one's No one is currently willing to confirm what games are coming out for this thing, even if their games were already shown in the trailer like Bethesda. So, it remains to be seen. And that it could have been smoke and mirrors. It could have just been one example of something they wanted to show. I highly doubt that, though. I don't think Bethesda would be one of the companies that sign on board with this unless they were planning to do that, Fallout 4 or something else. But, Mass Effect Andromeda could come out for it. It is supposed to be early next year. There's a lot of games coming out early next year on PS4 and Xbox One that would be fairly easy probably to port to this system. And that is something that I think could be huge for Nintendo. If they can have, the system launch just a few weeks after some of these bigger games come out and have ports for them right away, I would be stuff like Mass Effect, Persona 5, I would be willing to wait on those if I could also play them on the go. And I think that is a game changer in a lot of ways for a lot of people, because the biggest problem Nintendo's had, especially with the Wii U, is with third parties, is like, okay, what's the reason for buying it on this system? Why do I want to play it on the Wii U instead of my PS4 and Xbox One? One of my friends play on that and stuff like that. With this, you have a reason. It's because this is the only system it can be portable. You got games like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Madden, NBA, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy 15 maybe. Like, there's all these games that would be amazing to actually have on the go as a portable game that we normally would not be getting, not at least without it being a handheld version that's been stripped down by a lot. So if we can have like good ports of a lot of these games, that is a huge seller for Nintendo in terms of actually getting people to jump in. I see a lot of people online saying they don't travel that much and they don't think that this would be that big, but you got to remember that even in the US, even though the portable market has died down a little bit because the mobile market, the portable market is still huge. I mean, look at what the 3DS has done. Look at what the new 3DS has done. Like, they still sell a lot. So if you've got a system that you can have in your home and take it with you, there's going to be a lot of people that jump on board for that. And I think that's one reason that you do see so many third parties saying that they are, for this ahead of time. They see the potential of this, not only in Japan, but in the entire world as well. It may not be good for everyone, but I do think that Nintendo's got a unique hook here that no one else has. Now, that could change in another generation, but for now, I mean, it's the only system on the market where you can say, oh, hey, I'm playing this game, I'm playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh, hey, I need to go travel somewhere. I'll take it with me and I'll play it at that place once I get there. Like, you can't do that with any other system. Not unless you're going to take, a portable stand and the system and everything else. It's too big and bulky. It's not portable. I think that is going to be a huge seller for Nintendo. Or a huge sales pitch for Nintendo for the system if they market the right way, and at least judging by the way they revealed this, they're definitely on the right track. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about for now. I probably won't talk about too much about the Switch for a while since we won't be getting any real news, and I don't really want to talk about rumors because, while a lot of the rumors for this thing were true, a lot can still change, even if it is just a few months away. So I don't want to buy into too many rumors until we know for sure now that it's actually been revealed. But anyway, I'm Novel Mike. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day. Bye-bye.